So we read all the time, right? Every single day. But have you ever actually stopped to think about how you're doing it? For most of us, it's just something we do on complete autopilot. Ugh, you know that feeling, don't you? You're staring at a page, your eyes are moving across the words, but nothing. Absolutely nothing is sinking in. And you probably blame yourself, right? Thinking your attention span is shot or the text is just boring.
But here's the thing. It has almost nothing to do with your attention span. Nope. The real reason is so much simpler. And honestly, it's a real game changer. It all comes down to one simple word: your purpose. And once you get this, it'll change the way you read forever.
Okay, so to really get this, we've got to back up a little bit. Think about learning a language. It's basically split into two big parts. On one side, you have the systems. This is the what you learn, the grammar rules, the vocabulary words, all that foundational stuff. And then on the other side, you have the skills. Now, this is the fun part. This is the how. It's how you actually use all that knowledge in the real world. There are 4 of these main skills, and that's what we're going to zero in on. Now, these 4 skills, we can actually slice them right down the middle into 2 super logical groups. It all just depends on which way the information is flowing. Are you creating it, or are you just taking it all in? Let's break this down real quick. Receptive skills are all about input. You're taking information in. That means listening, and our focus for today, reading. Productive skills, well, they're all about output. You're putting information out there. That's speaking and writing. So at its core, reading is a receptive skill. It's all about receiving information.
Okay, enough with the theory. Let's bring this into your actual life. I want you to just take a second and think about your day so far. No, seriously, what have you already read today? Just run through it in your head. I'm willing to bet it's way more than you realize. And I'm also betting you didn't read it all the same way.
I mean, just think about it. In one single day, you might have scanned some news headlines, carefully read through a work contract, and then just casually scrolled through social media. You would never read a legal document the same way you read an Instagram post, would you? Of course not. Your brain just knows better.
And that right there, that brings us to the big idea, the absolute heart of this whole thing, the core insight that ties it all together. So, if we're constantly jumping between menus and emails and novels and contracts, how in the world does our brain manage it all? Is there just one single correct way to read that we're supposed to use for everything? And here it is. This is the secret sauce. How we read will always depend on why we are reading in the first place. It's that simple, but it is so powerful. Your reason for picking something up to read dictates the entire process that follows. Let me say that one more time, because it is that important. The purpose dictates the process. Your goal literally determines which strategy your brain automatically chooses. So what are these strategies? Well, we can basically boil them down to 3 main tools that are sitting there in your brain's reading toolkit. Let's pull them out and take a look at each one. First up is reading for gist, which you probably just call skimming. This is your fast, fly-over-the-top read. You're just trying to get the general vibe of something. You're not digging for details. Think about flipping through a magazine in a waiting room or glancing at newspaper headlines. You're just getting the lay of the land. Next in the toolkit is reading for specific information, or scanning. Now, this one's like a surgical strike. Your mission is to find one single piece of information, a name, a date, a price, and you ignore absolutely everything else on the page. This is what you're doing when you hunt for the departure time on a bus schedule, or find the meeting time buried in a long email. And finally, we have reading for detail. This is the deep dive. This is intensive reading. It's slow, it's careful, and you use it when the stakes are high and every single word matters. This is how you read that legal contract before you sign it, or a complex question on a final exam. You absolutely cannot afford to miss a thing. And this is how it all connects in the real world. When you're in a waiting room, your purpose is just to pass the time, so you skim. When you need to find that one little fact in a long email, your purpose is super specific, so you scan. And when you're reviewing a life-changing job offer, your purpose is total comprehension, so you read for detail. In every single case, the purpose determines the strategy. And you know what the best part of all this is? You are already an expert at this. Seriously. You do it 100 times a day without even thinking about it. Your brain is a master at automatically matching the right tool to your purpose. The only difference is that now you know what these tools are called.
You can start using them consciously, intentionally.
So the next time you pick something up to read, just pause for a second. Ask yourself, why am I reading this? Because now that you can answer the why, you have the power to consciously choose the how. And that, right there, will make you a much more efficient and effective reader.